Good evening, everyone. We're going to start our program shortly. Thank you, Gary. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Erin Van Egman, and I am proud to serve as the Executive Director of the GRCC Foundation. It is so great to look out and see so many familiar and new faces. We are glad you have all joined us tonight. Tonight, we have the privilege of honoring Dr. Jim Buzzitta and family for all that they have done for the community, the college, and most importantly, our students. Dr. Buzzitta's relationship with the college started when he was a student at Grand Rapids Junior College. Since then, he has continued to give back his time, treasures, and talents to the place where he got his great start. Before we begin our tribute to Dr. Buzzitta and family, there are a few groups of individuals that I would like to recognize. I would first like to acknowledge any current or retired GRCC Board of Trustees with us tonight. If you could please stand or wave to be recognized. And how about any current or retired GRCC Foundation Board of Directors? If you'd please stand or wave to be recognized. And any other elected officials with us tonight, would you please stand or wave to be recognized? Thank you so much for your service to GRCC and to our community. I would also like to recognize a few other distinguished guests with us tonight. Former GRCC presidents Dr. Juan and Mary Olivares. I know I saw them at some place. Dr. Steve and Karen Ender. And Dr. Bill and Lori Pink. Thank you for being here and showing your continued support of GRCC. So one of our goals when planning our events is that guests truly experience GRCC and all the amazing talent that we have here. With that, there are a few groups of individuals that I would like to thank for helping to provide our guests the true GRCC experience. First, how about a huge round of applause for the GRCC String Quintet and College Orchestra, directed by Dr. Libor Andres. And what do we think about the food this evening? Thank you to our alumni and student chefs for planning and preparing an amazing Italian-themed menu for us tonight. The student chefs are currently in the Personal Chef Certificate program here at the Secchia Institute for Culinary Education. And they have had the opportunity over the last couple of days to learn alongside an alumni that was once in their shoes, specifically in the same certificate program. What a wonderful experience for our students. I also want to thank Dr. Werner Absinger and the rest of the Secchia Institute professors and staff for their help in coordinating this effort. And a thank you to our own GRCC Media Technologies Department for their expertise and creativity, which we will see more of later in the program. And a special thank you to our own College Advancement Unit, specifically the foundation team and the graphics team. Thank you for all you have done to put this evening together and make it special for our honoree and for our guests. So one of the main reasons we are here tonight is to raise money for student scholarships, and we could not have done that without the generous support of our sponsors. I would like to recognize a few of them from the stage. Our title sponsor for this evening is Dr. James V. Buzzitta and family. Our platinum sponsor is Meyer. And our gold sponsor, the Williams family. Thank you so much to all of our lead sponsors. In total, we had 18 organizations and individuals sponsored this evening's event, and we are grateful to all of them. You can find a full list of sponsors scrolling on the screens throughout the evening. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Grand Rapids Community College's 11th president, Dr. Charles Lepper.
So Aaron told me to stand on the stool here, so I hope I can still read from this distance up here. I feel a little bit like Bill Pink right now, as tall as he is. So good evening and welcome to this remarkable gathering. I stand here tonight before you profoundly grateful for your presence here tonight and your support and commitment to our institution. You echo the values that define our community and the future we strive to create together. Tonight, we come together not only celebrate the generosity of our sponsors, but also to honor a man whose dedication has profoundly shaped the very essence of Grand Rapids Community College. Dr. Buzzitta, a name synonymous with commitment and leadership, has left an indelible mark on our college. His journey with GRCC began in 1974, as Aaron mentioned earlier, and when he graduated, and since then, he's become a beacon of inspiration for all. Despite my own newness to GRCC, and for those of you who may not know, I started in January, my time working with Dr. Buzzitta has been short, but my respect and appreciation for you runs very deep. Following his time here, Dr. Buzzitta pursued excellence at the University of Michigan and Wayne State University's School of Medicine. His commitment to healing led him to a distinguished career in internal medicine, culminating in the founding of Michigan Medical PC, the state's largest private medical group. After retirement, he continued to make waves as the president of Hughes Management Group, leaving an impact that reverberates throughout our community. Dr. Buzzitta's influence, however, reaches far beyond the confines of his professional accomplishments. His dedication to education, healthcare, and social justice materialized in the form of the Buzzitta Family Scholarship, which serves as a beacon of hope for many of our students, for a countless number of our students, in fact. Moreover, his instrumental role in our 2019 capital campaign, A Broader Vision, resulted in nearly $23 million raised for student scholarships and facilities improvements. $23 million. Unbelievable. These scholarships, as you know, are not mere financial aids. They are the keys to unlocking doors of opportunity and transforming lives. The scholarships we celebrate tonight have a profound impact on our students. They provide more than just financial assistance. They instill confidence, nurture dreams, and empower young minds to reach for the stars. Each of our scholarships represents an investment in the future of our community and is a testament to the belief that education is the cornerstone of progress. I cannot emphasize enough how crucial your support is, not just today, but also in the years to come. Your generosity paves the way for a brighter tomorrow where dreams are not stifled by financial constraints and ambitions are not curtailed by the lack of resources. So as we conclude this evening, and we still have plenty of time to enjoy our food and drinks, I extend my heartfelt gratitude once more to all of you. Thank you for being here, for your unwavering support of Grand Rapids Community College, and your commitment for the betterment of our students and education in our community. Together, we're sculpting a future where every student has the opportunity to soar, where potential knows no bounds, and where the legacy of learning continues to flourish. Thank you all so very much. Dr. Buzzitta, it's my honor to be associated with you, and thank you for all that you have done for Grand Rapids Community College and our students. Thank you.
And I was told I had to use this stool so you could see more than my forehead. So thank you, Dr. Lepper. As we move to the next section of our program honoring Dr. Buzzitta and family, I am told we have found some old home video of Dr. Buzzitta. So please turn your attention to the screen.
What's the matter, honey?
I don't really want to talk about it.
Look at me. You're a Buzzitta. You're the best.
that spirit of just doing whatever you can with passion is a really strong value in our family, always looking for ways to do it better, to come up with an idea.
How to dream big is a huge part of our family, not only as a child, but at the very beginning in school, what dreams that you have, on what career path you want to go down. Sometimes we had to be reeled back in, but
there was definitely generational growth and that classic American dream from growing up from grandparents that were immigrants from Italy that was just very deep-rooted. He always likes to say sempre famiglia, which is always family in Italian. So really, again, just saying the most important thing is family, just the cornerstone of the family, which he actually does have in the cornerstone of his home that he built.
Dr. Buzzitta, you are a Buzzitta, and you are the best. We are proud to consider you part of our GRCC family. Moving on, I understand we discovered the exact moment when Dr. Buzzitta realized his big dream of becoming a doctor.
Mom, I'm ready to be a doctor.
Well, I sure hope you don't find a horse in a real patient.
If you had an illness or something, and many times he'd call you up in the evening and ask how you're doing. Also, on his way home sometime, he'd stop and see patients to see how they were doing. Who does that? That was Jim.
He challenged the status quo, so he didn't let things set for patients and or community members, and he worked tirelessly for patients. His ability to mentor other medical students, physicians, took a lot of time in that aspect.
it was really moving to go to a restaurant and just sit at a table with him. And this woman saw us from across the room and saw his face and had to say something. You saved my family member's life, and that was years ago. He hasn't practiced medicine in a while. So how impactful his work has been really showed that night, and I was really proud.
Yes. Dr. Buzzitta, we sure are glad you went on to further your training from your kitchen table to earning degrees from GRCC, University of Michigan, and Wayne State University School of Medicine. You've come a long way. Next, do mothers really know best? And do they really have eyes in the back of their head?
Jimmy, I hope you're building a good foundation. A successful businessman doesn't mock his mother. Yes, I saw that.
When he went to his dad and said, I think I want to be a doctor, his dad says, well, you can be anything you want, but you're going to get a business degree first. And he did get a minor in business.
He doesn't settle, and I think it's really important. He expects the best of himself, and he expects that of others, and he models that.
His vision, I think, goes beyond that. Where are opportunities?
Jim established a very large medical practice in West Michigan, one of the largest.
To bring that many physicians together, practicing as a team under Jim Buzzitta's leadership, I think was a significant contribution to this community.
He hires good people, and he gives them direction. He doesn't go into the office every day and micromanage. He allows those people to do what he hired them to do, and that allows him to dream and think big.
Dr. Buzzitta, you have always dreamed big, from practicing medicine to establishing your own practice, all the while giving back to the community in so many different ways. And finally, Sometimes mom just needs to get you back on track.
Why do I even need to know this stuff?
Let me see if I can.
That's not how my teacher showed me.
Now, Jimmy.
He really valued his education and his start here.
He really demonstrates what community college can do for somebody. He's truly one of our greatest alum.
Actually, when I found out it was coming from like another medical, doctor, I was actually very surprised. Well, like this actually means a lot because I'm interested in the medical field. I'm doing nursing right now. Seeing someone be interested in helping others, and then especially helping someone like me who wants to go into this field as well, just means a lot.
He has given back to this college in a number of ways, not only his talent and treasure, but his time. That's it. We're putting our heads together to launch a capital campaign for the college with the goal at that time was to raise $10 million. And so we spent countless hours in Jim's office strategizing.
It's easy to give because of the impact you have in people's lives, to give them a chance, to give them an opportunity. And boy, I'll tell you, they don't waste it. It's one thing to write a check and send it to a charity. It's another thing when you can physically hear or see the impact that you've made in another human being's life. That to me, that's why I give.
Dr. Buzzitta, your leadership and vision has helped GRCC raise millions of dollars for scholarship support and capital improvements through the Open Door campaign, the A Broader Vision campaign, and many other projects and initiatives. By you dreaming big, that has allowed countless other students to realize their dreams. Thank you for always being an advocate for GRCC, our students, and making sure the Buzzitta legacy lives on at GRCC. So at this time, would you all please help me welcome to the stage Dr. Jim Buzzitta.
Ooh, boy, I wasn't planning on that. Thank you, everyone. This is touching, to say the least. I want to thank Aaron. I want to thank Dr. Lepper, the trustees, the board of the foundation, friends and family. It's my pleasure, my honor to be up here. I have a few introductions of family members that are here. My mother, 90 years old, is here today. My daughter, Kristen, and her husband, Mike. My son, Jack. My daughter, Sarah. My brother, Joe, and his wife, Susan. Thank you. Integral part of the village and the family. And also my Hughes family is here, people who work with me day in and day out and know me as well as anyone. And they're here today, and I'm so honored for all that. You know, we have a lot of great Italian food today, and I've heard a lot of compliments about how this is such a great thing and we should do more of this, and I agree. It's hard to beat Italian food, and in Italian, we have an Italian phrase that says, food says what words can't, and I think that's absolutely true. And I did tell Aaron, my kids always say, Dad, keep it short. I said, when you put a mic in front of an Italian man, it is not going to be short, so you're just going to have to deal with that today. My talk today, I've kind of split up. I'm better at giving than receiving, as you can tell, but I'm going to talk about how GRCC impacted me personally, and then I'm going to flip to why this institution is so important to the community. And you know, taking a line out of the great Italian philosopher Yogi Berra, who says, it's difficult to make predictions, especially about the future. I'm not going to try to predict, but I am going to try to talk about the past. And it starts with the year that community college began, which was September 21st, 1914. Now, September 21st is very close to my birthday, September 14th. But the 1914 year is very important to the Buzzitta family because that's the year that my great-grandfather Luigi set sail to the United States to find a better life for his family. And then a couple of years later, in 1916, he called for great-grandma Leonarda and the 5 children to come to America. And the second child was a boy by the name of Vincenzo, who went by the name Jim, my grandfather. And Jim was 14, and when they got to America, they had to work. They had to support the family. So he went to the C&O Railroad, said he was 18, and worked on the C&O Railroad for 51 years. So hard work was instilled to what my family's about. So now let's fast forward to 1972, when I graduated from Ottawa Hills High School. And I wanted to be a doctor. I was good at math and science. I was a pretty good student, pretty good athlete, got some scholarships, thought I would go on to the University of Michigan. And then I talked to my parents, and they said, well, maybe you should look at community college. Might be a little easier for us. I didn't know much about community college, junior JC at that point, junior college. And I looked into it. They had a good pre-med school. You know, it was started by the University of Michigan as a feeder school in 1914, and that's why today the colors of community college are maize and blue. So I looked around, they had a good pre-med curriculum, so I went there. And then things started to change. And so when you get done with high school and you want to be a doctor, you're only halfway done. You've got 4 years of undergrad, you've got 4 years of medical school, you've got 3, 4+ years of residency or postgraduate work. And through that period of time, I had experience to many wonderful professors and teachers. Most of them were great. But there was 5 that stood out, and of those 5, I call the terrific 3 of those 5 came from community college, and I'd like to talk to them a little bit now. The first one was a man by the name of Ron Edwards. Ron was this tall, dark, handsome, organic chemistry teacher. He commanded the room. He was charismatic. All the girls loved him. Half the guys loved him. I mean, he was something. And he just made organic chemistry a very tough course, very logical, understandable, and exciting. And I stayed friends with Ron Edwards and his family until he passed away, and still with his family. I mean, who does that? How many of you have close friends that were your professors? Not many. Ron Edwards was a good friend of mine until he passed away. Later in his life, I would take care of coordinate some of his health issues. He'd always call. He was a Michigan man, too. One of the best things I loved about him, he had a wonderful wife, Sue, and if you wanted to light up a room when he was older, you'd say, tell me about how you met Sue. And he'd tell the story about how he met her in a small shop in a small town in Indiana. He would describe her hair, her lipstick color, her dress, and it was a true love affair. He had 3 children, Sally, Cindy, and his son, David, who's here today. David is a past professor of MIT at Harvard. He's an international entrepreneur, my partner, my friend, my brother. And he came from Boston via LA today just to be here today. And David, thank you. And when I left community college, Ron Edwards wrote me a letter, a long letter, handwritten, describing many things, but one of the things that he described was don't expect to be taught at the University of Michigan like I taught you at community college, because it isn't going to happen. And he was right. He says, you're now a lifelong student. You'll always want to learn. You never stop doing it, but you know how to learn without a teacher. You don't need a professor. If you get a good professor, it's a bonus, but you don't need it. You know how to do it. And he was right. And at my old age, I still like learning. The second of this terrific three was a woman by the name of Dr. Ann Miller. What a piece of work was Ann. She taught comparative anatomy and embryology. She was a PhD in zoology from the University of Michigan. She taught at the University of Michigan, came to community college, which was a benefit to us. And she was known to have one of the hardest classes. And she was known nationally, and if you got A's in her class, she might write you a letter of rec. And if she wrote you a letter of recommendation, you had 1 foot in medical school. But Ann was a cross between Mary Poppins, very prim, proper, called everybody by their surname, Mr. Buzzitta, Miss Jones, Mr. Smith, and something that has 2 horns and a long tail. She was just, and she wanted, and during class, I mean, she was a great teacher and taught really hard. I mean, the comparative anatomy and embryology usually is a 400 level class. She was teaching it at community college as a 200 class. And she would always ask questions to the students. And the students, tried to answer the questions. And it seems, so one day, poor Bob Reynolds, oh, geez, I remember it to this day, it's been 50 years, still remembered the pain he went through. But it was his own fault. Dr. Ann Miller asked a question. He clearly didn't know the answer. Now, you have options, right? You either say, I don't know. You either guess because you kind of know and you might get partial credit. Poor Bob guessed and he wasn't even in the same solar system. It wasn't even close. Everybody raised their eyebrows when this happened. Now, Dr. Ann Miller was a classy lady. She could have said, you're an idiot. She didn't say that, at least not in those words. What she did is she said, Mr. Reynolds, that's not even close. And let me talk to you about Albert Einstein. Mr. Einstein is arguably the most intelligent man in the world. And Albert Einstein once said that the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has a limit. Whoa. I have never seen a student more academically and eloquently burned by a professor than that day. Now, she didn't do it to be mean. She did it because she wanted him to learn. And he did. He started studying a lot better. He didn't want Albert Einstein to come up. And everybody in the class trumped up. I mean, nobody wanted Albert Einstein coming up again in her class. Well, at the end of that particular year, I was going on to Michigan, and I did well in her class, and she said she would write a letter of rec for me. So I went into her office. Now, her office was interesting. It was a cross between Oz, the Wizard of Oz, and Nightmare on Elm Street. It was messy. There was lots of papers, lots of things up. And in the corner by the window was an aquarium. Now, I'm used to fish swimming horizontally. But she was a zoologist, an embryologist. She knew how to irradiate during development these fish and tadpoles when their swim bladder was developing, which is the gyroscope of the fish. So they were all swimming vertically. Damnedest thing. So I walked in and I said, and she gave me the letter and she said, what are you going to do this summer before you go to Michigan? I said, I'm going to work in a hospital. She said, I think you're going to be a good doctor, with a little hint of a smile. Nothing demonstrable, but I thought she smiled a little. And I said, Dr. Miller, what are you going to do this summer? And in typical Dr. Miller fashion, she said, I'm going to be studying lemurs in their indigenous habitat. Now, if she would have left it at that, I would have been out the door and fine, but she didn't. She said, and Dr. Buzzitta, do you know what a lemur is? Well, at the time, I didn't have a clue. She opened up a book and started showing me pictures of lemurs. She then said, do you know where their indigenous habitat is? And I said, no, I just really, and she said, Madagascar. Now, at this point, a bead of sweat started to develop on my forehead because I thought, don't ask me where Madagascar is, because I don't want to hear about Albert Einstein. I just want to get out of this. And she didn't, and, but again, taught me many, many things. Now, the third person of this top three was Nancy Klaus. Nancy was an art history teacher. And I had electives, and it was my mother, actually, who said, you can't take all science. You got to broaden yourself. That's what college is about. Learn something you don't know. So Nancy was known to do a wonderful general art history course. And in fact, my mother took her class years later and enjoyed it. So you go into the class, and she dims the lights, and she starts projecting all these great works, and she describes all these wonderful things, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I actually took more at University of Michigan. But at the end of the first week, after her class, I had Dr. Miller's class, so I had her. So everything was here. She was flipping up stuff, and then I'd pull out Dr. Miller's, and at the end of the week, Mrs. Klaus said, Jim, can I talk to you after class? I said, yeah. I said, I got Dr. Miller. Yeah, I know you got Dr. Miller. So she said, what's going on? I said, I really enjoy your class. She said, no. My stuff's all up here. What are you doing down here? I said, I'm studying for Dr. Miller's class. It's really important to me. She said, now, a normal teacher, professor, would have bawled me out, would have said, you're not being respectful to me. This is terrible. Put away those notes. Not Nancy. Brilliant. You know what she said? She said, all right, I got a deal for you. We have tests every week on all the stuff I'm showing you. You get a straight A on every test, you can continue to study. But you drop below a straight A, those things go away. The notes go away. I said, deal. Straight A's in Nancy Klaus's, straight A's in Dr. Miller, straight A's in Ron Edwards. Graduated valedictorian, got a big scholarship to University of Michigan, the rest is history. So what did they teach me? They did not teach me subject matter. They taught me many things. What did Ron teach me? Ron taught me a lot of things. We talked about life throughout, the 40 years that we knew each other, 45 years. But he taught me about lifelong learning. You don't need a professor. We talked about life. We talked about lots of things. And he'll be missed. Ann Miller, she taught me hard work will get you, success. And that just explore your curiosity in life. And Nancy Klaus, an art history teacher, taught me about how to negotiate, how to multitask, and the win-win scenario. Can you believe it? These three were outstanding, and they were all at community college. Now, I told you that story to tell you another one. And it reminds me of Winston Churchill, who said, we make a living by what we earn, but we make a life by what we give. And I am such a big fan of community college. I know you're here today with an honor to me, but it's about the college. This college is so unique. We have so many wonderful four-year universities that are great. But you know what? If one of them went away, we'd lament, but it'd be okay. But if community college went away, we'd have a problem, because it impacts the whole region economically in so many ways. It does so many things that the other universities don't even touch. The vocations, the remedial. 2008, when we had all these workers lose their jobs in factories and have to be retrained, who did it? It wasn't the four-year colleges. It was community college that got them back into the workforce. And it goes on and on and on. So I wanted to talk about my Fab Four real quickly, because those are the four presidents that I've had the honor to work with. It started with Juan Alvarez, 2007, when him and Dave Custard brought me into the Open Door campaign. Juan is one of the nicest human beings. He's kind. He did great things here. He helped with diversity. And he is still an amazing person, him and Mary, and it's just such an honor to call him a friend. Juan went on to Aquinas and Dr. Ann Mulder. And anybody who starts off Dr. Ann is going to be a pistol. Dr. Ann Mulder was at community college, then she went on to be the president of Lake Michigan Community College, and she asked me to be on the search committee for the next president, president number 9, and that's when I met Smiley. You know who Smiley is? Right there. Kathy Mullins. Kathy Mullins was working for the trustee office at that time. I was totally lost. And she said, Dr. Buzzitta, you look lost. I said, yeah, I'm lost. And anyways, that was when I first met Kath. She went on to get her PhD, ran the foundation, and has just been an amazing woman in many aspects. Well, we had a lot of good candidates back then, but we picked what I thought was by far the best, and that's Dr. Steve Ender. And we actually liked Steve, but we really liked Karen better. And but Steve's a good golfer. I don't know if you know that. Steve and I play golf together, and every time I play with Steve, I win, and it's all him, all him. And so then I got on the board, and then Steve, before he retired, brought in a man by the name of Bill Pink. And Bill came in and was the 10th president of community college. Same thing with Bill. We loved Bill, but we loved Lori better. And but Bill came in with his own set of great ideas and charisma. It was just an honor. And he, of course, was there during the pandemic, which was not easy, but he made the best of it, and that showed great leadership. And then, you know, our 11th president, just recent, is and Chuck Lepper, and he's just terrific. I don't know him that well, but what little I've seen, he's going to be just fine. He's doing great things already, and the college is in good hands. And I was a chairperson, and I handed over that chairperson responsibility to an individual who I want to recognize. Is Christine Babcock somewhere? Christine, raise your hand. Christine. Christine has been involved with the foundation for a while, and I passed on the chairpersonship to her. And what makes me proud, even though it's long overdue, is in the history of the foundation, she's the first female chairperson, and I am so proud of that. So I can't wait for a female president, by the way. Anyways, that's another story. President of the United States, that's what I mean. Yeah. So I wanted to make just one last comment that, how do you make the world a better place? You do it one good act at a time. And this institution has been important to me, important to my family, and important to many of you in this room. So what we can do to make it better is how we make the world better. And I'll leave you with one last quote from Mark Twain, who said, the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you realize why. So thank you. Please support Grand Rapids Community College. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And Aaron, it's back to you.
Get my stool back in place. So Dr. Buzzitta, thank you. It has truly been an honor to be able to recognize you in this way this evening. I've had the privilege of working with you in different capacities over the years, and I've always admired your steadfast commitment and dedication to this institution and the way that you've always pushed us to do more and be more. So thank you. We are proud to call you an alumnus of this great institution. Before we close our program, and I promise we're getting there, I want to extend one more thank you to all of our generous sponsors, to our faculty and staff for putting this wonderful evening together, to our alums and students for their participation in this evening's event, and to all of you for joining us. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Christine Babcock, chairperson of the GRCC Foundation Board, to the stage to close our program.
Either. No, be too tall. All I want to say is you're amazing. Thank you so much for your leadership, for everything you've done at the foundation, and your personal mentoring for me. It's meant so much to me. Thank you. So as we wrap up our program this evening, we reflect on 2 main reasons we're here tonight. The first one is to honor and celebrate Dr. Jim Buzzitta and his family, and to raise money for student scholarships. You know, education is a very powerful tool, and it can transform lives. And your contributions have the power to make those transformations a reality. Supporting students through your contributions to scholarships is not only about removing financial barriers for students, but it's about hopes, dreams, and opportunities that scholarships provide. Scholarships are often the boost of confidence that students need to further pursue their passions, fulfill their potential, and make meaningful contributions to society. So tonight, we invite you to make a difference in a student's life by contributing to scholarships. And, as you would suspect, we've made it very easy for you to do this. So it just involves a smartphone. So I'm sure many of you have them. Maybe everybody has some type of smartphone. And then some sort of payment. And of course, your generosity. The first step is to take your smartphone and scan the QR code on your badge. So you can see it on your name tag. There's a QR code there. That will take you directly to the donations page where you can give via a credit card. We take a bank account, Pen Pal, or Venmo. We also have envelopes if you'd prefer to write a check. See, we've made it super easy in this technology age for you to support. Every gift truly does make a difference, regardless of the size. You can help to change a student's life tonight. On behalf of the Foundation Board of Directors, I want to thank you all for being here tonight and to help celebrate the legacy that Dr. Jim Buzzitta and his family have created, and for helping provide additional scholarship support to our students. We appreciate every single one of you for being here, for your support, and your contributions. As we end the formal program tonight, a couple of notes. Please feel free to continue to enjoy the food and, of course, the company of all the wonderful people here tonight. And make sure that before you leave, you grab a gift bag at the back and also a parking pass if you need one. And also, don't forget to grab a business card from our amazing alumni chefs. You could have them cater your next get-together. You know, Thanksgiving and the holidays are coming. Don't do the cooking yourself. Have one of these wonderful meals that these amazing chefs could prepare for you and your guests. And a reminder, please make sure that you vote for your favorite food station with your little corks by 7:30, and we'll be announcing the winners shortly thereafter. Oh, it's 7:45. We'll give you a little bit extra. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you again, everyone. Stay safe and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.